What a man goes through when he witnesses that your self-respect is more powerful than your feelings for him is not a gentle or soft moment. It is an event that destroys his ego in that exact second. He does not just lose your warmth, he loses his dominant position. This content does not exist to offer you simple comfort or to falsely lift your mood. It serves to uncover the precise mental process that activates when he realizes he can no longer possess you at any price. When that shift occurs, the connection is never the same for either person. You are about to explore the 6 real psychological stages his mind passes through when your dignity takes control, moving from his first moment of confusion to the final reversal of power. If you stop listening before the conclusion, you will miss the most critical and dangerous part. This is the part that separates a woman who falls back into old habits from the woman who will never be disrespected again. This is not just another video. It is the truth you must absorb if you want to stop losing your soul in the name of love. If this is already speaking to something deep inside you, subscribe to Carl Jung Psychology right now and turn on notifications. What comes next will completely reshape how you understand yourself and every relationship in your life. The psychologist Carl Jung said that no one truly meets another person without first confronting their own inner shadow. That is exactly what is taking place here. Your self-respect forces him to look at the parts of himself he has been running from. If this message is reaching you at the right moment, please subscribe and drop your thoughts in the comments below. When you encounter this at the right time in your life, it does not just shift your mood, it transforms the internal structure of how you love. The first stage begins the moment he recognizes you are no longer available for negotiation. Listen closely, because a very widespread fantasy is about to shatter. A man does not realize he is losing you when you physically walk away. He realizes it when he can no longer influence your internal emotions. It is not about a particular sentence or a rule you state out loud. It is a quiet shift in your internal position. He feels this change long before he can put it into words. Consider the story of a woman named Crispel. She was deep, loving, and devoted. She did not chase or beg, so people on the outside believed she carried high dignity. However, on the inside, she was constantly bargaining with her own values. She was making excuses for his absence and tolerating small lies just to keep things peaceful. One day, something moved deep inside her heart. For years, she had confused being patient with being mature. She believed that giving in was the same as caring. Without realizing it, she had taught him that her limits could always be shifted. But then she stopped explaining herself. She did not scream or walk out. She simply stopped betraying her own values in quiet, everyday ways. This invisible shift reorders everything. When you return to your own center, your energy stops pleading for him to stay. He senses an immediate loss of access to your soul. His first reaction is not fear. It is a deep, unsettling discomfort. He does not understand why, but your silence feels unlike anything he has experienced before. Your limits no longer feel like a defense. They feel like a solid, immovable fact. This forces him to stop overlooking you and start examining where he actually stands. When a woman stops being negotiable, a man encounters a new reality. He does not believe he is losing her yet. He thinks he is losing his comfortable position of power. This transformation happens when you make 3 inner moves. You stop remaining in spaces that make your body feel tight and small. You stop explaining yourself to someone who is not prepared to truly listen. You begin making choices that honor your own needs, even when he does not agree with them. When you do this, you are not being cruel, you are being clear. Clarity is deeply intimidating for someone who is comfortable existing inside your confusion. The man begins to monitor his words and his timing because he can no longer count on your endless flexibility. This is the beginning of real respect. Many women believe dignity is about being hard or cold, but it is truly about being consistent. Crispell did not become distant, she became whole. This caused him to wonder where exactly he fit inside her life. Now you are no longer just reacting to him, you are simply present. You are not chasing, you are choosing. This removes his power to use you for his own convenience. Once your heart learns it does not have to hurt in order to love, it cannot return to the old way. He understands that he can no longer rely on your vulnerability, and that forces him to either grow or walk away. Both outcomes arise from you returning to yourself. You do not have to leave the room to stop being negotiable. You just have to come back to your own soul. When you accomplish this, the bond is no longer sustained by your effort alone. The second stage reveals why your dignity generates more genuine respect than all the love you ever offered him. It is painful to hear, but love without structure simply becomes part of the background scenery. What truly reorganizes a man's thinking is the strength you demonstrate while loving him. When you love without losing yourself, he cannot treat you like a habit anymore. Offering more love does not produce more commitment. It often just creates a predictable, unexciting routine. Dignity introduces an entirely new reality. Carl Jung explained that the mind only respects things that carry clear shapes and boundaries. When you have limits, he feels there is a line he cannot cross without having to change himself. He begins to compare the woman you are now to the version of you that used to wait and silently hope. Before, your love was a sure thing. Now his access to you is a privilege. He begins asking himself whether he is willing to improve or whether he is going to lose his place by your side. This is not a game or a manipulation tactic. Manipulation means changing for him. Dignity means changing for yourself. Your energy stops demanding attention because you are already directing it toward yourself. In counseling rooms, men frequently say they feel their partner is somehow different, that things used to flow more easily. But easy is not love. Easy is simply access without any real cost. This is where many women make a critical error. When he begins paying closer attention because he is anxious about losing you, the pull to return to the old dynamic is extremely powerful. But if you use dignity as a strategy rather than a genuine transformation, it will collapse. It has to be who you actually are. This is the moment when the relationship stops being a comfortable fantasy and becomes a real, conscious choice. Your dignity does not promise he will stay, but it guarantees you will not lose yourself. Remarkably, that is what makes the deepest impression. You are no longer the one being evaluated. He is the one who must determine whether he can rise to meet your new standard. This respect is not constructed on victimhood. It is built on remaining calm and clear even when things become difficult. When you stop acting from a place of hurt, he cannot play emotional games with you anymore. Dignity leaves a permanent mark that is never erased. You become a standard for him, not just a memory. Some men grow from this experience and others quietly withdraw. Either way, you are no longer exchanging your soul to keep a man close. The third stage arrives when his respect quietly transforms into a kind of internal fear. It is not the fear a child experiences. It is the fear of an adult who begins to comprehend he may not be worthy of you. He wants to be close, but he is terrified to expose his own flaws. He may send confusing messages or behave in an inconsistent hot and cold pattern. He is testing to see if you are still emotionally accessible. But when he observes that you are not chasing him for answers, his anxiety deepens. He can no longer regulate his own internal state by borrowing your emotions. He is now encountering his true self without any protective masks. And many men discover that confrontation extraordinarily difficult. Do not mistake his sudden intensity for authentic love. Sometimes it is simply a man attempting to reclaim control. Your role is to remain still and grounded. When you do not rush to fill the silence, he is forced to confront his own inner emptiness. Your dignity exposes the truth of the entire relationship. Love that originates from respect seeks consistency. Love that originates from fear only seeks temporary proof. If you are still with me at this point, you already know this message is meant for you. Type the number 11 in the comments right now. In Carl Jung Psychology, 11 represents the exact moment of internal awakening, the split second when your psyche cracks open to a deeper truth about yourself. Let us see how many people in this community are experiencing that shift together right now. By staying anchored in your own center, you naturally filter out the men who are not ready for something real. He is now the one watching the clock and carefully weighing every word. He no longer possesses your heart. He must earn his way back into it. This independence is precisely what elevates your value in his awareness. This is also a perilous time for you. When he appears confused or sad, you will feel the familiar urge to return to your old role as the healer, the rescuer, the patient one. If you surrender to that pull, the entire cycle restarts. If you hold firm, an entirely new dynamic begins to take shape. You are not being cruel. You are being consistent. This consistency compels him to take a definite side. He will either rise and become a better version of himself, or he will gradually fade away. Dignity does not lower its standard for anyone. You do not need to threaten him. You simply need to refuse to shrink yourself. This choice saves you years of wasted time and emotional energy. It reveals clearly who can actually meet you at the level you now occupy. The fourth stage is the moment he fully understands there is no going back. The woman who used to bend herself into uncomfortable shapes for him is gone. He may experience a kind of grief, not for you specifically, but for the effortless, undemanding life he once had access to. You no longer carry his emotional weight for him. If he chooses to stay, he will begin to look at you with a quality of respect he has never genuinely offered before. He will start taking real accountability because he understands he cannot retain your presence while remaining the same person. You are no longer simply his safe resting place. You are a full human being he must actively and consciously respect. If he chooses to walk away, this ending will feel completely different from anything that came before it. There is no dramatic scene, no desperate pleading, no late-night messages. You do not chase him for an explanation. This absence of desperation leaves a permanent mark on his psyche that time cannot erase. He will always carry the memory of the woman who chose not to sell her soul for love. You may question yourself in quiet moments, wondering if you were too firm, too unyielding. But you were simply being honest with yourself. Love that only functions when you make yourself small is not genuine love. It is an arrangement built to serve only one person. The fifth stage is when you transform this self-respect into your permanent identity. You are no longer responding to a breakup or reacting to a painful situation. You are living your actual life. Your yes carries real meaning, and your no is final. You do not need to justify yourself to anyone because you already know precisely who you are. This inner knowing makes you magnetic in a way that cannot be manufactured. People who cannot handle the weight of your clarity will quietly exit your orbit, and that is perfectly acceptable. You stop falling for hollow promises because your heart now recognizes the distinction between authentic effort and mere performance. You have stopped fragmenting yourself to make others comfortable. You no longer require someone's selection to confirm your own worth. You have already selected yourself. Before we reach the final transformation, pause for a moment. If you felt something genuinely shift inside you while watching this, type 520 in the comments below. In the framework of Carl Jung Psychology, 520 carries the vibration of the heart finally choosing itself over everything else. We believe that numbers can hold the energy of what words sometimes struggle to express. Let us build something real in this community together. The sixth and final stage is when your entire internal world transforms from the inside outward. You are no longer operating from fear or from old, unhealed wounds. You ask whether a relationship honors you, not whether you are adequate for it. Your body finally learns that love does not have to involve struggle. You do not need to explain your limits because you have simply begun living them. A man never forgets a woman like this because she is complete within herself. She did not betray her own soul to receive love. You have broken the cycle of repeating identical patterns. Your dignity is not a barrier designed to keep people out. It is a light that shows people exactly how you expect to be treated. It filters out those who are not prepared and allows in those who are ready for something real and lasting. You no longer look backward with sadness, but with deep, settled understanding. You comprehend why you were vulnerable before, and you know with absolute certainty why you can never return to that state. You are no longer attempting to complete yourself through another person. You are sharing your life from a position of already being whole. This kind of love endures. You do not need to persuade anyone to remain. Your presence communicates everything that needs to be said. Always remember, you are the standard that teaches others how to love with honesty and truth. What unfolds when the reversal is complete and your dignity is no longer a defense, but your permanent atmosphere? This is the moment where the power shift becomes genuinely irreversible. When a man recognizes he cannot negotiate your presence, his mind moves from shock into a prolonged reorganization of how he perceives both you and himself. As you move into this next phase, you will observe that he begins to study your new way of life with extraordinary attention. He is searching for fractures in your resolve. He anticipates that, eventually, you will revert to the version of yourself that used to over-explain everything. But when you remain firm, he collides with a psychological wall. This wall is where he must determine whether he is a man capable of meeting a woman of genuine high value, or whether he is someone who can only exist when a woman is emotionally dependent on him. Your silence and your decision to remain anchored in your own center function as a mirror. For the first time, he is not focused on your needs. He is confronting his own consistent lack of effort. This is where the most honest and lasting change becomes possible. If he stays, it is because he has discovered a real internal reason to grow. If he leaves, it is because he recognizes he cannot meet the cost of a woman who genuinely honors herself. In either outcome, you are no longer subject to his inconsistency. You are now inhabiting a state of internal order. This order is what prevents the old painful patterns from re-emerging. You no longer have to consciously think about maintaining your dignity. You simply are dignified. This is the deepest goal of the entire path. A love shared by conscious choice, protected by clear limits, and sustained by mutual respect rather than the fear of solitude. The ultimate transformation arrives when you understand that your dignity did not just shift him, it changed the very atmosphere surrounding you. You no longer draw in people who want to use your kindness as something to stand on. You become someone who radiates a quiet, undeniable power that does not need to announce itself to be felt. You have moved from hoping to receive love to knowing you are intrinsically worthy of it. When you arrive at this point, the past no longer holds any grip over you. You can look at the man who once made you feel insignificant and experience nothing but a calm, lucid understanding of the lesson he was meant to deliver. You have completed the school of self-betrayal and stepped into the life of genuine self-love. This is the conclusion of the old story and the beginning of a life where you are the complete author of your own happiness. When you reach this final stage, he will often attempt one last set of psychological tests to determine whether your new dignity is authentic or simply a temporary performance. He may deploy what can be called the memory trap, drawing up beautiful moments from the shared past to see if your emotions will soften and cause you to forget your own limits. He may also attempt strategic vulnerability, displaying a sudden, intense sadness in order to pull you back into your old role as his primary emotional caretaker. These are not always calculated plans. They are the natural reactions of a psyche attempting to reclaim a lost sense of control. If you remain centered and grounded during these tests, something rare and extraordinary occurs within his mind: genuine awe. He begins to comprehend that you have moved into a level of psychological maturity that simply cannot be manipulated. At this precise point, the dynamic is no longer a contest of power. It has become about the fundamental truth of the connection itself. If he is genuinely capable of deep transformation, he will cease testing you and begin truly respecting you. He will understand that being in your life requires him to bring his most authentic, developed self to every single interaction. If he is not capable of that growth, your dignity will function as a natural boundary that prevents him from consuming any more of your precious time and energy. Your internal structure is now so solidly established that his actions no longer dictate your emotional state. You have stopped being a reaction to his behavior and have become a fully present force in your own existence. This is the moment of genuine liberation. You no longer wait for his message to feel at peace, and you no longer fear the weight of his silence. Your sense of well-being is now generated entirely from within, grounded in the powerful fact that you have ceased betraying yourself. You have learned that the most significant relationship you will ever carry is the one you maintain with your own soul. This transformation is permanent because it is anchored in a completely new understanding of what love truly means. You now know with absolute clarity that love without respect is simply a sophisticated form of concealed pain. You have exchanged the chaotic highs and devastating lows of an unstable relationship for the steady, unshakable peace of genuine self-love. When you move through the world from this grounded place, you carry a quiet elegance that requires no announcement. You do not need to argue for your own value because you embody it in every gesture, every decision, every silence. You have become a woman who is not only extraordinarily difficult to lose, but genuinely impossible to forget, because you demonstrated what it looks like when a human being consciously selects their own soul over a toxic attachment. From this point forward, you are the one who establishes the tone. You are the one who determines who is deserving of your time and presence. You have transformed from the one who was waiting to be chosen into the one who evaluates who deserves to remain. This is the conclusion of the psychological mechanism of loss and the beginning of a journey toward a love that is finally equal, genuinely honest, and completely whole. The final realization emerges when you understand that your dignity is not a wall that keeps love away, but a precise filter that only allows the right quality of love to enter. A man who encounters you in this state faces the ultimate truth about his own character. If he chooses to rise, he does so fully understanding that he can never revert to being careless or inconsistent. He recognizes that your presence is a genuine gift that must be actively protected, not a service he is automatically owed. If he chooses to exit, he does so carrying the heavy awareness that he surrendered something rare because he was too limited to recognize its true value. Your life now enters a phase of radical, uncompromising honesty. You no longer possess the internal energy for ambiguity or games. Maybe, or we will see, no longer satisfies you. You expect directness because you are direct with yourself. This clarity functions as a protective field around your heart. When someone enters your life and attempts to deploy the old familiar tactics of guilt or mixed signals, your entire system rejects them immediately. You do not need to fight them off. You simply no longer resonate with their frequency. This is the stage where you stop being the one who was hurt and become the one who truly learned. The psychological reorganization is now complete within your own nervous system. You have trained your mind to understand that safety originates from your own boundaries, not from another person's approval. This removes the persistent, exhausting anxiety that defines so many modern relationships. You can be loving, warm, and open without remaining available for mistreatment. You have mastered the rare and powerful balance of a genuinely soft heart and an uncompromising, strong spine. This balance is precisely what makes you an unforgettable reference in his life and an undeniable force within your own. You are now standing on a foundation that cannot be destabilized by a breakup, a difficult conversation, or a particularly challenging day. You have discovered the center that Carl Jung described as the true self. From this place, you do not simply survive love, you command it with quiet, effortless authority. The final shift occurs when your dignity stops requiring any conscious effort and begins simply existing as your natural atmosphere. At this stage, the man comes to understand that your standards are not a list of external rules he must memorize, but the very quality of presence he must be capable of sustaining if he genuinely wants to remain near you. This is the ultimate psychological surrender for him. He grasps that he cannot negotiate with your soul. He observes that you are no longer frightened of the silence that follows his absence, and that recognition makes you more genuinely powerful than any threat or argument he could ever construct. This is the moment he confronts the reality that he is no longer the gravitational center of your universe. You are. When you arrive at this state, your energy transforms from a seeking vibration to a choosing vibration. You are no longer scanning for evidence that he loves you. You are examining whether he is deserving of the love you carry for yourself. This shift is felt deeply and immediately by every man who enters your presence. It creates a natural pressure for him to show up with honesty, consistency, and genuine respect. If he cannot sustain that pressure, he will feel a powerful internal compulsion to exit, not because you drove him away, but because his own absence of integrity feels unbearably uncomfortable in the presence of your clarity. There arrives a stage beyond ordinary strength. It is not loud. It is not theatrical. It is not propelled by unresolved anger. It is calm, settled authority that requires no performance. When your dignity becomes effortless and natural, something genuinely unusual happens within his mind. He stops attempting to decode your behavior. He begins attempting to understand himself. Because for the first time, he cannot attribute his own confusion to your emotions. He cannot claim you are too sensitive. He cannot suggest you are overthinking. You are steady. And steadiness is deeply, profoundly confronting for someone who has relied on emotional volatility. A man who once flourished on unpredictability feels unexpectedly exposed in the presence of your emotional stability. He may not articulate it directly, but internally he feels smaller. Not because you attacked or diminished him, but because your authentic growth casts a revealing light on his own stagnation. He begins replaying every moment where he underestimated you, every occasion when he assumed you would absorb more, every instance when he believed you would bend. Now he sees the full picture with painful clarity. You were not weak. You were loving, and he confused the two. That realization carries genuine weight because it forces him to face a difficult, inescapable truth. He did not lose you because you changed. He lost you because he refused to. This is the exact moment when admiration replaces the need for control. If he remains within your orbit, you will notice a qualitative difference. His tone becomes softer, not from manipulation, but from genuine humility. His actions become more deliberate. He stops performing and begins participating authentically. He understands that access to you is no longer automatic. But not every man reaches this stage of evolution. Some will attempt one final tactic: comparison. He may subtly reference other women. He may work to provoke your jealousy, to generate a reaction simply to confirm he still holds some relevance. But when you remain completely unmoved, something inside him quietly collapses, because he comprehends in that moment that you are not competing, you are choosing. And a woman who chooses from genuine inner abundance cannot be destabilized by manufactured threats. This marks the psychological conclusion of ego dominance. Your calm becomes louder and more impactful than all of his attempts combined. And here is where the real transformation shifts its focus entirely to you. You begin to feel genuinely lighter. Your body no longer contracts when his name appears on your screen. Your breathing remains steady. Your sleep deepens. Your thoughts arrive with new clarity. Your nervous system has exited survival mode. For so long you loved from a position of constant vigilance, monitoring his emotional state, analyzing his silence, bracing for impact. Now your entire internal system has learned that genuine safety originates from within. That inner safety radiates outward in ways visible to everyone around you. People begin treating you differently, not because you demanded a change, but because your posture shifted, your eye contact changed, the quality of your presence transformed. You are no longer available for emotional chaos, and chaos recognizes rejection. If you have made it to this point in the video and something inside you has permanently shifted, type 777 in the comments right now. In Carl Jung Psychology, 777 represents complete psychological alignment. The moment when the conscious and the unconscious begin moving in the same direction at last. We want to know how many souls in this community are experiencing that exact turning point right now. And if this content has genuinely moved something in you, please share it with one person today who needs to hear it. This is where a deeper layer of shadow work, in the full tradition of Carl Jung Psychology, finalizes itself within you. You stop romanticizing pure potential. You stop believing that if you simply love with greater intensity, someone will fundamentally transform. You accept a challenging but liberating truth. A person only grows when their discomfort exceeds their capacity for denial. And your dignity created exactly that quality of discomfort, not through punishment, through the quiet, powerful withdrawal of unrestricted access. There is extraordinary power contained in what you no longer choose to tolerate. At this stage, if he attempts to return, not with rehearsed charm, but with real, demonstrated accountability, you will sense the difference immediately. There will be no surge of adrenaline, no dramatic reunion, just a calm, clear-eyed evaluation. You will ask yourself one singular defining question. Does this align with the woman I have genuinely become? Not, do I miss him? Not, does he love me? But, does this honor me? That question is the crown of your entire transformation. Because now love is not something you fall into without awareness. It is something you step into with full consciousness. And if he cannot answer your new standard with sustained, consistent behavior, you will walk away without internal collapse, without drama, without needing to explain yourself. That quiet departure is the real victory. When a woman reaches this level of psychological sovereignty, she becomes genuinely unforgettable. Not because she was dramatic or difficult, because she was absolutely disciplined with her own self-worth. Even as years pass, he will carry the memory of the precise moment your energy shifted. The day your eyes stopped seeking reassurance. The moment your voice carried certainty rather than hope. You became the mirror he could not turn away from. And mirrors do not soften the truth. But here is the final truth that most people never discuss. This entire journey was never really about defeating his ego. It was about integrating your own shadow, in the deepest sense that Carl Jung Psychology teaches. The part of you that feared abandonment, the part of you that accepted less and called it love, the part of you that confused emotional intensity with true intimacy. You did not simply change how he perceives you. You fundamentally transformed how you perceive yourself. And that internal reorganization is absolute and permanent. Now, when love approaches, it encounters structure. It encounters clarity. It encounters a woman who does not negotiate with her own soul. This is what emotional sovereignty truly looks like. It is quiet. It is deeply grounded. It is magnetic because it signals one essential truth above everything else. You are no longer available for half love. At the very conclusion of this transformation, something genuinely beautiful occurs. You stop perceiving relationships as battles for position or power. You arrive at the understanding that real love contains no hierarchy. It is two complete individuals consciously choosing one another, not two incomplete people attempting to fill each other's emptiness. And if he is genuinely capable of rising to meet you, he will feel authentic pride in standing beside you, not above you. If he cannot grow to that place, he will feel the increasing distance as a steady reminder of what genuine maturity demands. Either way, you remain centered. You have moved from attachment to conscious alignment, from chronic anxiety to quiet authority, from the desperation of pleading to the clarity of real boundaries. And that shift is completely, permanently irreversible. Because once a woman experiences the profound peace that comes from genuine self-respect, she can never return to the chaos of self-betrayal without feeling it instantly in every part of her being. You have crossed the threshold. You are no longer the woman who hopes to be selected. You are the woman who carefully considers who truly deserves to remain. And that is not arrogance. That is awakening. This is the final stage, not of losing him, but of completely finding yourself. And once you find yourself, truly and fully, no one can ever take you away from you again. If this journey shifted something real in how you see yourself today, leave a comment below and tell us which stage resonated with you most deeply. Subscribe to Carl Jung Psychology for content that goes beyond the surface and reaches the truth most people are afraid to speak. Your presence in this community matters more than you know.